So, today we are talking about preserving our history, even though it is trying to be erased. Listen, y'all, it is time for us to start to explore what it truly means to reclaim the cultural lessons, values, and wisdom that have been lost through colonization, displacement, and modern disconnection. So, everything from just us getting away from the things that used to be traditions and normal for us in the past. So, we're going to try to rediscover those, right? Our ancestral knowledge is where the power is. So many of us have been brainwashed into thinking that those areas of learning are evil or some type of um and I don't like to use this word, but demonic, but again, it's not from my point of view, it's from the outside looking in. And as someone who has been on a quest for true understanding over the past, I'm going to say maybe 6 or 7 years, it has become so apparent to me that we are still being hoodwinked and bamboozled. And when I say we, I'm included in that. But it has been put on my heart and my spirit to at least try to encourage this community to try to re engage, right? It's time for us to really at least do some research because it's the research that they're really trying to get rid of for good that holds the most power. And so I decided to do this three-part series on money, power, and community because those are the three areas that are going to sustain us, get us over the hump, get us in a place where we are self sufficient. And so I hope you guys join along for this conversation. I hope that you join me because I'm going to also talk about ways that we can stay connected and really bring this information to light. It's not lost on me that the name of this channel is Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, right? If you know anything about gemstones, if you know anything about herbs, if you know anything about roots, these are powerful, powerful, natural, right? Not only just powerful, but natural areas that we used to lean into to get us through when we were going through our most trying times. And they're organic, they originated from where we were taken from. And I'm speaking to anyone that is part of the diaspora. And additionally, not just the African diaspora, but if you're indigenous to this country, if you are part of the I forgot how many tribes there are, but one of the many Indian tribes, Native American tribes, then this is also part of your history and part of your story and part of your power. And so today, that's what we're going to talk about. And so let me see, because I can't see the chat. Let me see if there's anybody in the chat. Hey, everybody. I see some people popping in. I do have my notes, y'all, because this is so important to me. This is so necessary for me to discuss that I didn't want to forget anything. So I'm going to be referring to my notes throughout this as well. And also some clips from some videos that I've already posted back in October where I wanted to bring this information and this enlightenment, right, to us as a community. And so let me also say, I have been drawn to certain places for a reason. And it's all starting to make sense to me, right? So we started with the name of this channel. I went from Black Culture Talks, right, to Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. Well, I was always Kim, aka Kim with the Gems, but naming the channel that. Gems is literally, I think, a divine identity that has been put on this channel. Because, and we'll talk about like some of the most powerful gems, but you probably know like crystal, the different types of crystals, rose, quartz, and tanzanite, and all of those things all have meaning, and we just really need to get back to it. And so I encourage you to share this video with someone that you know. I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and become a gemstone, right? Become part of the Gem Nation, where we're going to try to come together regularly and share these stories that literally are being erased right before our eyes. And so let me say hi to a few people. Then I'm going to get into a couple quick clips just to share that this isn't just my thought process. It's actually necessary and also being taught in various educational realms for now in the US. So we're going to talk more about that later. But where I was going with that is I'm drawn to places like Mexico, and specifically where the Mayan culture is strong, and their legacy is felt very prominently. I'm also drawn to places like Grenada that has one of the most beautiful massive rainforests that you can imagine. Oh my gosh, I think I have a video on my channel about Grenada. I think I do. And just the power that lies within that like that vortex is amazing. I'm also drawn to places like the coastlines of South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and well, not as much Florida anymore. I'm not going to Florida. Boycotting Florida. But anyway, places like that where our ancestors were brought and continued to practice some of these holistic, homeopathic, natural, divine practices that have been given such a horrific name. And so I encourage us to do as much research in these areas, to gather our resources, to have our stay ready so we don't have to get ready strategy in place. And so let me say, hey, ABX girl, good to see you on this. Oh, today's August 1st. Goodness gracious, where is this year going? Hey, Moni Juliet, good to see you. Hey, Dante, good afternoon. Hey, Kevin, sup? What's up? Hey, Creative Flavor and Travel. Hey, Casper 330. I am so happy to see the people that are out here staying committed to the action. Y'all keep me motivated to do the research and bring these real life stories to you. And I just want to share a clip or two clips from some of the young folks talking, right? This is, again, um more than just what I am saying to you, right? It's more than just me telling a story. This was from, and hopefully I could play it. This was from, here we go. I'm going to start with this sister as she shares a little bit about her story. So this was from the Gullah Geechee Festival in South Carolina that I just happened upon last year when I was visiting. Oh no, 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago? No, it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Oh, child, my memory, I swear. Anyway, we're gonna hear from this sister. She was a college student. I'm not sure if she still is. And then we're gonna hear from one of her college buddies also talk a little bit about the Gullah Geechee impact and the importance of maintaining our stories from West Africa.
A lot of my aunts and uncles, my grandma, my great grandma.
Hold on, I think I might have it too fast. Y'all know I told y'all I play my videos very fast, but I want y'all to be able to hear. And if you can't hear, please let me know because oh, let me try to get to the chat too. Hold on a second because I can't see it right now. Let me get to the chat before I play. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So if actually I'm going to remove myself, but if for some reason you can't hear, let me know. Sorry, I have it on the wrong layout. If I remove myself, it will stop the mic. Hold on a second. You know what? I'm not going to remove myself because for some reason they have new layouts on StreamYard, and I am for some reason not able to remove myself without the audio going away. That out. They have a whole new layout on StreamYard. So give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, let's just listen to the sister speak.
Have had to suppress their language and parts of the culture due to white supremacy. And so this experience for me has been I'm from Statesboro, Georgia, by way of Midway, Riceboro, Harris Neck, Georgia. So I am a proud Geechee girl. This experience for me has been very eye-opening. A lot of my aunts and uncles, my grandma, my great grandma, have had to suppress their language and parts of the culture due to white supremacy. And so this experience for me has been a journey of reclaiming what has been lost and finding myself in it. And being here specifically, seeing everyone here, all of these faces, all of this embrace from not only y'all, but from our ancestors has really shown me that even though we might be different location wise, we're all still the same. And that we all still have the same goals. And so I just want to thank everyone for being here and allowing the students to be here. Shout out to y'all. Yes. And giving us this opportunity to, for some of us, reclaim what has been lost, but for others to be introduced to our culture and why we think it is so beautiful and why it should be preserved and protected. So thank you.
Gives me goosebumps, gives me chills. This sister is beyond what I hope for the legacy to continue, because what I'm noticing is they have done a great job at distracting young minds from learning, understanding, wanting to know about our history. And so when I hear the younger generation share these types of stories, it just does my heart good. And I'm going to also share um, the young gentleman. And I actually put a link. There's a link to a playlist that I have called Lessons from the Elders. And this video, along with a few others, are listed where we get to hear these stories from our elders. We get to hear what it was really like from their recollection and the stories that have been passed down to them to survive, to survive during some of the most critical times, or the most critical times, I would say, culturally from us. And so if you are watching this in the future, go ahead and watch on a faster speed because we tend to be here for a little while. We tend to be here for an hour plus. And so sometimes I know that can be a lot of information, but if you speed it up, then you could get through it quicker. So let's just get through this young brother who shares his experience being part of this powerful legacy.
here we are, connecting not just our roots to our ancestors that got here, but our roots to our ancestors from the continent and the things that they brought with them, the stories, the spirituality. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm a philosophy major. So. But thank you. I just want to say, this is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Hey, it's Kim, aka Kim with the Gems again, here with part 2 from the Gullah Geechee.
So again, connecting the dots basically, and that is what is so necessary for us to continue, and that's why I again am doing this 3-part series that I hope you come back for tomorrow, and I hope you watch yesterday's if you didn't watch the conversation about money. And it's so ironic that I tell you, when you know you're on the right path is when you plan things and the ancestors just let you know that you're on the right track. So there's also a video that Earn Your Leisure did, I guess, on well, there were two. They did one with the Breakfast Club, and they were talking about the importance and urgency of getting your own business and entrepreneurship. Go ahead and take a listen to that. And again, had no idea that video was even done, but I had planned this conversation way before it even and posted about it way before the video on the Breakfast Club was even released. And so that is just divine nature for me divine ordinance for me to know that, listen, there are no coincidences as to the messaging, to the community that's being built here, or any of that. And so let me remove this. So yeah, go ahead and watch that video from yesterday, the live, and then tomorrow we are coming back talking about community, and I'm going to share some of the communities that I am part of that I think I would definitely recommend you being a part of if possible. But before I get into the actual steps that I think we need to take as a community to reclaim our power before it is truly lost, I would love to know if there, I want to know if you can type it in. Let me know where your people hail from. Is it the South? Is it, the Caribbean? And I just want to know, because I do know there are some cultures that do a better job of retaining this information than others. And so I'm just curious to know. So let me get back to what I wanted to start off with, and that is really talking about understanding where our power lies, right? So the underlying word is understanding, right? Understanding where our power lies, and it lies in the importance of reconnecting, the importance of reconnecting to indigenous and ancestral practices. I can't wait to share with you the journey that I've been on, kind of sort of since I've been here. And also, like I said, I mentioned this on a few videos about speaking to the elders while I'm here. And the elders are anyone that literally has a story to share about growing up and learning about African culture. I mean, from their family members, we're only a few generations away from slavery. So my goal has been to speak to people who are carrying that knowledge and documenting it before it's too late. And then it's going to be packaged in a way that I too can then share it outside of just this platform, but in other platforms. And so understanding the importance of reconnecting to our ancestral practices. Also, how to begin to reclaim those lost traditions with intention and respect. And I'll also say without fear, because we have been taught to fear what we don't understand. But again, the key word, the foundation is understanding. And also, how does the role of language, land, herbs, and ritual in cultural healing impact us? And how can it impact us in the future? So, another way that I, definitely want us to pay attention to, and I mentioned it time and time again, all of these things are so connected. I could have never planned this to be this connected. But understanding that, we see what's going on with healthcare, we see what's going on with the restrictions on subsidizing healthcare for people who need it. We really need to get back to these practices. We really need to understand. And I showed some books 2 days ago or 3 days ago. I showed some books that I just purchased, even though I have been doing research already, and there's some videos on my channel that support that, but I have been really getting into herbs that I may not be accustomed to. But I do remember my grandparents, my parents talking about, if you have a sore throat, this is the tea you drink. If you have a cut, this is the herb that you wrap around it. Listen, from the basics, from onions to garlic to um, tomatoes, things like that, and root vegetables. These play an important role, not just in our culture, but in other cultures that I respect. So, like I said, the Native American culture, our Ayurvedic, and I may be saying that wrong, practices. So, we really need to understand that there's power in these things and understand where we can find the research and resources to start incorporating them. Um, Tools and practices for spiritual and cultural remembrance. It was so interesting that I never paid attention to this, and this may be part of your family history. Um, and I also, please, 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 whoever's in here, put in the comments if there's any ritual in your family history that you never really paid attention to. One that we have here, whenever I walk into older family member's house, there is literally an altar, what would technically be called an altar for our ancestors, our family that is no longer here in the physical. Pictures, maybe dried flowers, um, and these are Christians, like people who go to church every Sunday, Bible study on Tuesday or Wednesday, and truly believe in the King James Version of the Bible, right? And yet and still, I wish I can show you this picture that is hanging up in this room that I am sleeping in. And it is literally a picture of, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to take a picture of it because I don't want to move the camera. And I'm going to post it in the community tab. But I am really surrounded by traditions that I never really learned about. And I'm sure many of us are in the same boat. So I'm curious to know if there's any traditions that you are aware of that your family practices or you practice that you may not know the meaning of. Just share what the traditions are, please. I need more understanding from the people that I'm talking to, so that's why I'm asking. I need to know who is currently in this room. So we talked about, understanding, the understanding and the importance of understanding where our power lies, but also understanding what is it that your ancestors believed. And when I say ancestors, it could be your grandmother, your great grandmother, your mother, your father, your great grandpa, whoever is in your history or your legacy. What did they believe? Ask them. If you still have the opportunity to ask them, go ahead and ask them what were their beliefs as it related to spirituality, related to medicinal, right? Medicinal, um, related to gems or gemstones or crystals or anything like that. Now, some people may not want to talk about it because they have since been brainwashed to think it's black magic, it's all of that stuff, but ask them. And then also try to understand what beliefs have been silenced from them. Ask them. These are the type of questions that I'm asking some hard questions, and I'm being asked because I know there is some trauma associated with it nowadays, but ask them. And then it's up to us to learn how we can reclaim our powers and our cultural roots and take away the darkness of it, take away the stigmatism from it, right? And so I'm very interested to know who is in this community that is. I'm going to go back to the chat, y'all. Give me a second. Oh, wow. I see some people from the South. Let's see. Hey, Christine, I see you in the building, girl. Okay, you driving. Okay. Your grandmother's from South Carolina. Dad is from Harlem. Mom is from Panama. Now, when you say your dad is from Harlem, he ain't just pop up in Harlem. Trust me. I know. Where did he come from to end up in Harlem? Because my parents came from the South and ended up in Harlem. I know other people that came from other parts of the South ended up in Harlem. And then there's people that came from, Caribbean islands and countries and ended up in Harlem as well. Dante says, oh, so listen, our roots are running deep in here. And I'm going to tell you why I asked that question, because listen, God is speaking to me, child. There's a reason why I am in the South for over a month now. And I was only supposed to be here 2.5 to 3 weeks. And I don't have an end in sight right now, but there's a reason. And I think it's for me to get some answers to some questions while I'm here. And, also listen, New York, child, it ain't the summer that I thought it was going to be between the heat. And then I was checking on friends and family with the rain situation yesterday. I thought the rain situation here was crazy, and it's worse there. So listen, God has a plan for me. And so I'm going to listen. Both of your, oh, wow, to Chicago. Yeah. So it's either you went up north or you went to like the Midwest from the South. Most of the people from the South, if you ended up out of the South. So from Greenville, South Carolina, Greenville, Mississippi, sorry, to Chicago, because there's a Greenville, South Carolina too. Kevin says from the South, parents from deep South, Oakville, Mississippi. Listen, there are some stories there. There are some lessons and history I would love. So I kind of shared like one of my next passion projects that I'm doing. And I'm still, I haven't announced it to the world yet because I'm dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but I am going to launch and I'm saying I am because that's what's going to happen. I am going to launch an educational platform for at homeschooled students. Now, I'm also looking for a way to make it digitized or compatible, because I know for a fact that, listen, we're in a world, ain't nobody stopping the AI train, right? And now with this whole woke AI initiative, I am absolutely looking to partner with someone or a company that is not on that train, the AI woke train. And anyway, so this is part of the content that I want included in this program. I think it's so necessary. I think there are families that need this. Think about, some of the families that may have either lost people early or have adopted. Oh my goodness. Am I freezing? The weather here, listen, if y'all start hearing lightning and thunder again, it has been a time, y'all. This weather, and it's for the next few days. So if I freeze, I apologize. I put myself on TV just to see because of the weather situation. I just saw myself freeze. So anyway, saying all that to say, so that is one of my next passion projects. And it's because of all of the history that I know can and will be erased if we don't document it. One thing you remember vividly, the black tar tree for white, clean, and healthy. Listen, child, I am the stuff I have been speaking to my family here about, the different herbs and the different trees and the how to get rid of everything from high blood pressure to gout to um, you know, gum disease, all of that. It's miraculous. And even speaking to my aunts who have been sharing more about what my grandfather, who was like the doctor, because he didn't go to the doctor, he didn't believe in doctors. What they have been sharing with me. So I can't wait to open that up. Mainly Savannah, Georgia, and the Carolinas. You have a Gullah Geechee connection from your dad's side and want to learn more about that side, or Alabama from your mom's side. Listen, when you start to learn and when you start to realize, and I have notes here as well, there's a video too that I'm going to recommend because I thought it was really well put together. It's a PBS video actually, and it is the importance of practicing ancestors worship, and it's PBS Circle, I think is the name of the YouTube channel. And basically there are experts that are speaking about this, experts that I want to connect with. Most of them are in Charleston. I am supposed to go to Charleston next week. Well, the weather is looking a little cuckoo too. But I am going to Charleston and I want to set up time to really speak to people who have not just okay, I heard this, I heard that, but a more comprehensive breakdown of these stories. And so one person is I'm sorry, the name of the video is Life Has No Niche. No. I'm sorry. The name of the video is Uncovering the Power of Hoodoo. That's it. Sorry. The YouTube video name is Uncovering the Power of Hoodoo, and it's PBS Voices. I said PBS Circle. It's PBS Voices. I'm going to get back to the comments in a second, but Uncovering the Power of Hoodoo, PBS Voices. And hoodoo is literally the combination of Christianity and West African religions, not religions, but spirituality, I should say. And it's practices that were brought from the motherland, but were feared by the people who owned us and brought us over here. And so they started to punish us for practicing these things. And so I believe that we at this time need to know about them because there was some power. And like I said, the people like Nat Turner, the people like Harriet Tubman, people that we pay honor and homage to for being such a big part of our liberation or at least advancement are people who practice West African, or at least, even if it's not all West African, I believe that it came to this part of the South and the Caribbean, mostly West African, but these are people who practice these rituals and these ceremonies and things that are now called magic and dark magic and evil and demonic and all of those things. But There's a woman named Dr. Camila Martin, who I'm gonna find her, child. I'm gonna find her. I'm putting it out there. I will find her because I want to talk to her. And hoodoo just simply means healing, and it could mean harming. Now it depends, right? But it was the only thing, or primarily the only thing that all of us, all of our ancestors, were able to bring over onto the ship. Yes, we brought language, but we know that was stripped. Unfortunately, for let me just move on. Yes, we brought language, but we know that was stripped. But our spirituality that was brought from the motherland, even though it was stripped, there are still stories. There are still people who understand. There are still people who practice. There is this town in Colombia that I had the chance to visit. I told y'all I'm drawn to certain places, Palenque, and they literally still practice. It's a free governing town, meaning they govern themselves in that town. They're known as the first freed town in the Americas, and they literally still practice their traditions, the traditions from West Africa. It's way up in the hills and the mountains of outside of Cartagena, but it's just someplace you have to visit. Do I have a video on here too? I'm not sure. If I don't, I will do a short or something. But saying all that to say, when you visit that town, it will bring tears to your eyes. The way, the pride, the ceremonial practices that are still on display, the lessons that you'll learn about how you cook certain foods and put certain herbs for certain reasons. This is the type of knowledge quest I'm on. And it's the same even with the Mayan. I don't know why I'm so drawn to the Mayan culture. There is some African roots there, it has to be. But there's something so spiritual about the Yucatan, the Yucatan areas, and there's something magical, and I hate to even use the word magical. There's something spiritual that happens each and every time I'm there where I'm like, whoa, like, whoa. If I leaned into this, like, what could really happen? And so let me get back to see who else. Castor oil was a mainstay in the house. Listen, castor oil, my aunt was talking about castor oil the other day and how you had to take it. Also, what else did she talk about? Castor oil. She talked about catnip tea. She talked about, there was another, did she say turpentine? She might have said turpentine, child. Listen, we need to get back to all of that. Golden seal. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, golden seal. But anyway, let me get back on track. I always do this, y'all. But I am super passionate about this topic. And so much so that I have literally created a list of herbs and what they mean, and crystals or gems, I should say, and what they mean. Now, it's not a every gem or every crystal in the world list, or not every herb, but it's a great way to get started, because I'm up here talking about, money and prosperity. I learned a long time ago, you carry bay leaves or basil in your wallet, your wallet will never be empty, and you're calling on abundance, right? And so these are the type of things. And listen, I'm gonna tell you when I first started doing it, child. Don't judge me. So me and my cousins, we have a get together every year in Atlantic City. And I have cousins coming from like everywhere. So Atlantic City was a place that had enough for everyone to do. So you could hang out on the boardwalk for free, you could go gamble, you could do whatever you want to do. Then there's arcades and and the beach and all of that. And so a couple years ago, when I was learning this stuff, I was telling all my cousins to put a bay leaf in their wallet, the money that they were going to play with. Child, each and every one of them, including me, won more money, except one of my cousins, because he's a gambler. But we all made more money that weekend at the casino. And I'm one of those, listen, I lose $20, I'm crying. My first $20 I put in, and I have a video of it. I'll share it with the well, I don't think I put the bay leaf in the video. That first $20 I put in, walked away with like over $500. And that was how the weekend went. Now, when I don't put the bay leaf in is when the problem happens. So saying all that to say, there are some serious, I believe there's some real, well, no, I don't believe, I know for a fact that these traditions ring true and hold true. And so, yeah, and we need to be preventative. Like Dante says, he talked about rarely getting sick. Yes. Tanya Brooks, self-care and support. Hey, good to see you. Yes, cod liver oil was another one. Yes, that was the one my mom was talking about. She was like, Lord, between castor oil and cod liver oil, but they didn't get sick. They didn't have vaccines. They didn't get sick. It was just what it was. And these are the types of, I'm going to get the book to go over. I have one of them right here, but the other one, this was the one I showed the other. Oh, you can't really see. I don't know how to take this thing off. I was on another Zoom last night. Sorry, y'all. But there's so many resources that are out here for us to tap into. So there'll be a list that will be available tomorrow. I'll mention it during the live. It's ready. I just haven't uploaded it for you to download it. That's the only thing. Let me see if I can pull it up. But anyway. I want us to be prepared for whatever, and I was kind of hesitant to even talk about this because, there's so much trauma when it relates to the church and idolization and only, being so focused on the wrong, what I think sometimes are the wrong things, like, the the love of money is evil. You don't think, or money is evil, or however that phrase goes, you don't think that was intentionally designed to keep us down, to let us be okay with less than, to not have us aspirational in mass numbers. Like, all of this was systematic. All of this was done intentionally, right? There's no way you can control a people unless you control their mind and take away whatever powers they may have. And so, listen, this ain't, when I say this ain't, this movement that I'm on right now is really, it's divinely driven. That's all I can say. It's not driven by anything else but divine order. And so and it's also for anyone who is ready to and has maybe never felt comfortable about decolonizing their spiritual mindset, because we were taught as kids to think one way and only one way. And as y'all know, I clearly talk about the Bible on this channel, and I believe in the Bible, but I believe that a lot of the Bible has been hidden from us, right? It has translations and different interpretations, and leave interpretation up to man. There's going to be flaws. There's going to be omissions. There's going to be additions, right? And so let's get back to nature. Let's get back to what's real. And so part of what the next phase of this Gym Nation is going to be, and I'll talk more about this during tomorrow's session about community, but part of what the next phase is going to be, I can't sit up here and say, be about that action without really getting to the root of how powerful we are. Because I think that would inspire us to be more about that action. I know it's inspired me. I know it has inspired me. And so again, I just want to share exactly what is to come. Did I mention your grandmama clipped your ends on the full moon? Oh wow. And there's a full moon in 8 or 7 days. We don't even learn about the power, the energizing forces that the full moon offers, or the sunrises. And that is absolutely intentional. Absolutely intentional. And almost every indigenous community pays homage in some way to the power of the moon and the sun. I don't remember going to church one time where they were talking about full moons and or sunrises. The sun rose on the 7th day or something like that. You know, that was pretty much like, I don't understand why. Well, I do understand it. Let me not say that. But we really need to understand that as well. And whenever I'm in Mexico, that is kind of ritualistic for me. And not only just to go to the ocean, go to the water, give libation to the ancestors. And if you look at the playlist that I have linked in the description, I share the at the Gullah Geechee Festival how that is part of our history as well, which is also part of the Mayan history, cultural history. And so I understand why I'm so connected, because we have similar um, cultural traditions. And so again, so check out that video when you get a chance. And let me see what else y'all are saying. And even some of the things that we don't talk about, like we can be okay with taking communion first Sunday, right? Or whatever Sunday they offer it at your church or whatever denomination you're part of. But we can't be okay understanding the cosmos, understanding the importance of the moon, the sun, the stars. We can't be okay with that, but we can do some ritualistic practices, but not others. And for anyone who's watched any type of, I'll say like Roots or anything like that, you know that behold, right? The babies were always provided a divine protection at birth, and that has gone away. That has gone away. Like, it is so many things that I want to, dive deeper into, but yeah. Let me just say, see, before I, because we've been here on 47 minutes. Hey, all the things. Yes, connected back to our roots. The herbs are our history. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the dishes that, like the food that we love so much, like because of the flavors and the seasonings, those were created medicinally as well. So anything from like cinnamon, like we talked about it already, to fennel, like just things, leeks and parsley and cilantro, all of those things, or whatever herbs that were picked out of the fields, absolutely were paired together, not just for flavor, but for medicinal reasons as well. Tanya says, my dad gave you cod liver oil and castor oil, and you listen. We used to have to take that stuff too. We used to, everything we took as a child, nothing was cherry flavored, nothing was blueberry flavored. There was, beside the only thing we took that we looked forward to after taking our 666 or whatever nasty concoction we were made to get was Flintstone vitamins. One a day Flintstone. That is the only thing. And we would get mad when our favorite flavor was gone. But that was the only thing that had a sweet or non-bitter taste. But this was because the medicines that we took back then had none of the preservatives, additives like the 666, the oh, it began with an L and it was brown. I can't think of it. It was all designed to do what the herbs, the natural herbs did. Yes. Never got sick. Never got sick. The only sickness I had as a child was asthmatic, but it was because back then people smoked left and right all through the house, right? And that's what I was allergic to. I was also allergic to dust. And we also had a collie, a pet, a dog that I didn't know that I was allergic to the hairs until I got rushed to the hospital with an asthma attack. But other than that, you're right. Not getting sick. Moni wants to know, do you wrap the bay leaf asking for a friend? No, I didn't wrap the bay leaf. I mean, so that's the other thing we're going to talk about in this community that I am going to set up. I was going to save this till the end, but let me talk about it now. I am actually in the process of creating some things that address everything from prosperity to health to love to protection, and it's all with the aids of the people that I'm speaking to here. So there are certain, you can make a little hoodoo bag like we saw in Centers, right? Annie made her hoodoo bag for, was that Smoke or Stack? I gotta see it again, child. The man in the blue, right? The brother in the blue. I think that was Smoke. And she made the hoodoo bag for protection. And the only time it didn't work is when he yanked it off at the end and tossed it because he didn't want protection anymore. But he was the only brother, the only twin to survive. Him, listen, Annie didn't even have, she must not have had her protection hoodoo wrapped around her neck, or Mojo, excuse me, I keep saying hoodoo. Mojo bag wrapped around. And so Mojos are quite a big part of our history that we need to bring back, because these streets are about to get crazy. And if you have a child, hell, if it's you and you going out dealing with all of what we're going to have to deal with as a people, better have some protection. So no, I didn't wrap. I just put it where my money was, and the part of my wallet where my money was. And so, and then you have to, once it gets dried out, you have to replace it. But I am going to be, when part of this community is going to be, and I'm going to share tomorrow another community or people that I follow that can help along this way. But I know community helps keeps us accountable. And so part of the Flawless community is going to be focused on this area. And I don't know why this Wi-Fi may be going down. Let me make sure my hotspot is on. Oh, sorry, y'all. So yeah, there's going to be more about that. So this community is going to be able to come together and share our knowledge like you're talking about now. Because let me tell you something, if you know castor oil works, you may want to get you some and store it, right? Or make you some if you know how to do that, which we'll learn about that too. Apple cider vinegar was another thing. If you had high blood pressure and you felt your pressure going up, my aunt also told me her grandmother told them, or she would take a shot of apple cider vinegar. But the apple cider vinegar of today, what they're making today, is not the same of what we had available even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, pre-panorama. And so now is the time to maybe start getting the quality products that are necessary to either make it yourself and or buy while they're still available to buy, because we know who's in charge of the FDA and listen, let's just get ready so we don't have to stay ready. So the community, the Flawless community, is going to have a more focused approach, and there's going to be real actionable items that we're going to focus on. And it's not going to be for everybody. Listen, I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm not going to fight nobody. If this is not your thing, if it's not your jam, because you think it goes against your beliefs, God bless you. This is for the people that are really, really interested in options, right? And understanding that there's more than one. There's more than one. And so Dante says, money is evil. It's the one thing I'm trying to unlearn. Yeah. In our private flawless community, and I hope Christine doesn't mind me sharing this, but Christine led a session about church trauma. And boy, did she spark a word. I mean, it seemed like every woman in there, well, not, I didn't have church trauma, but I guess you could say I did because of the things that I now have to unlearn, but I didn't have specific issues growing up in the church. Like the pastor that was my pastor most of my life. And when I say my pastor, my mother's pastor, I would do almost anything for him because he continued to look out for our family in times that were needed, like making things happen during the panorama when everybody else was told things couldn't happen. And so saying all that to say, I didn't have church trauma, but the people in that community, there was church trauma, enough church trauma to go around. And so there's a lot of things we have to unlearn. Like, I wish I would have learned more about the parable of the talents versus money is evil. Like, how can you just focus on one thing without sharing or focus? And there's no way you're going to tell me that money is evil trumps the parable of the talents. There's no way. Oh, hopefully I'm not am I still having sound issues? I know the Wi-Fi, the weather here, like the storm is a-coming, y'all. The storm is a-coming. And so unfortunately, I don't know if yep, let me show y'all. This is just the airport, Myrtle Beach International. Oh, let me see if you can see. Maybe you can't see. Anyway, it says 4:00. The thunderstorms will be here, and it's going on all night long, y'all. And so, oh well. Your grandma was an Eastern Star. I'm not sure what that really means. She was secretive about it. Yeah, it's a secret society. It was a secret. Oh, what talk was I talking, girl? I'm sorry. I don't even know what I was saying. The flawless community is wonderful. Yes, Tanya, we miss you. Did you get what I sent you? Please answer that. I didn't hear back from you. I just want to make sure because there were issues with, anyway, just let me know. Yeah, that session thank you, Christine, for hosting that. I know y'all want another one. We're on hiatus right now. So we'll figure out when to do part 2 of that. But oh yeah, you put that in, the ladies asked for part 2. Yeah. Oh, your skies got dark too. Now listen, let me just tell you. I told my cousin who's in town, I said, because he came from Atlanta. I said, y'all done brought this. The weather had been hot here, like super hot, like 90 something, but with heat index like 110, 115. But at least it was sunny most of the day. It has been thunderstorming like every afternoon, thunderstorming like I haven't seen it. And so, yeah. But I love it here. So yeah, so I want us to really lean into the powers that we have as a people, as a culture, in addition, and that includes the Bible. So if you look at the thumbnail, I have Annie, the hoodoo woman, I have the Bible, and I have a picture of the motherland. All of those coexist. Oh, I took that out. I did want to share a picture. I don't know if I could pull it up, but some of the people I think in the flawless community know that I'm in the process of making some tinctures and some salves. Anywho, I'm making those, and it's with organic herbs that I brought back from Mexico, and everything from horsetail leaves to, I just have a host of things, and I'm super excited to well, they're actually fermenting in New York right now. They're steeping right now. And so they're going to be good and concentrated by the time I get back, because I was not expected to be gone this long. And then I also have some herbs that I have from Grenada. And these are places, like I said, where I know there are, it's divine. Like they weren't raised in Manhattan, right? With all the energies that coexist there. These were natured in a divine space. And so, again, all of this, I'm going to show you. I don't want to waste time doing that, but let me just show you. I have bay leaves. Bay leaves grows in excess in Grenada, and they literally, like this, the first time, well, when I was there, it was just handed to me. Now the same person sends them to me for nothing, like nothing. Like I pay for other stuff, but I don't have to pay for the bay leaves because it's just endless amounts of bay leaves. And I was so scared that they were going to confiscate them at the airport, but as long as, because I got them fresh, as long as I was able to dry them out in time, which I was, but let me just show you the rainforest. Oh, you know what? Maybe, never mind. I'll do that in another video. I don't want to waste time here, but I do want to get through the rest of the talking points, which I didn't do yet. So let me just really go down to, well, we talked about how this just didn't happen by chance, right? It was everything from colonization to forced migration to slavery and cultural suppression. And that resulted into our broken languages, our broken rituals, herbal medicine, spiritual practices, and community knowledge, right? Many people don't even realize that the traditions that many Black people still do on New Year's Eve, from the collard greens to the Hoppin' John to the cornbread to the piece of pork, all come from our traditions and our ways to communicate with the divine, right? Or basically the energy that we're putting out there and expecting to be returned. So again, all of these things are what I'm going to try to focus more on, and why tomorrow's live is going to be about community, finding the tribes that, and when I say tribes, like every community is not for everybody. Like, be clear on that. And I'm clear on that, right? The people that are supposed to be in this community will be in this community. But and let's just say there comes a time where you're like, this community is not for me. I don't take it personal. I'm going to help you find other communities that can maybe advance you in ways that I can't. I would love for you to stay as long as this serves your needs. But once it doesn't, this, I'm sharing how I move, right? This is how I move. So I'm not saying this to slight anyone or anything. When something doesn't serve your needs anymore, you need to move on or move on to something else. And then there's people that will move from other places to here. But when we talk about community tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to share not only YouTube, channels that I would recommend, but also real live communities that I believe will help us when things get really, really tough, because they will, right? When things get really, really tough for the masses, for the people who are not preparing or trying to stay ready so they don't have to get ready. Let me just make sure. Yeah, and I don't know if I shared all of my personal stories, but one of them is simply me being completely guided right now by a much higher power. I believe the ancestors, and me wanting to lean into it now versus me thinking, what the heck is wrong? Like, this isn't right. Like, all of those things. And so it's a sign that I'm being called to remember And I think some of you, especially with everything that's going on in this country, are also being called to remember. And just understanding that remembrance can be just simple, like we talked about. That's why I also asked you to put in the chat, do you have any traditions? And many of you were like, yes, my grandmother, my grandfather, the castor oil, the cod liver oil, all of these things. Start leaning into that. Start writing them down. Start sharing them with your kids, because there will be a time in the not too distant future, if you try to search it, you may not get the right answers. It may just be a blank. I don't know if I told y'all that on my Facebook travel community page, if whenever I put anything now that simply says June, like Black something, I will get a thing saying I am not following community guidelines. We see where this train is headed, right? And so, but there are visions that I have had, and I will share that part. There are visions. I've had visions. I don't normally remember my dreams, but if I do, I ask somebody about them, and they usually turn into something, right? I mentioned on a live that I did when I was in Mexico. I think I was out having breakfast, and it was like my last night in Mexico, this past May, or next to last night in Mexico. And I had a horrible dream, a horrible dream. And I'm like, what the heck? I don't ever remember dreams, nor do I really have nightmares. And it was about crow, like black birds, I should say. I can't really say they were crows, but black birds. The following week, one of my dearest friends from college, one of the nicest guys in the world, passed away. Then it made sense. And I kept thinking, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, dag, blackbirds, crows, I think that means death. I didn't even want to ask anybody. Like, I didn't want to know what it meant, because I think I divinely knew what it meant, but I just didn't know who. Anyway, so yeah, so I want to lean into that more. I'm not saying, I'm not saying I don't know what I'm exactly ready for, but I am ready to learn more, right? Yeah, so it's definitely a curiosity that I want us all to lean more into, because I think we're going to need it. And stop being so mainstream with things, like with religion, stop being so mainstream. I actually matter of fact, I've talked about this book 2 years ago. Ancestor Said. Let me see if I could pull it up real quick. The link is in the chat, in the description. It seems like ever since I started reading that book, let me see. My life completely changed. It's a young sister who wrote it. It's called Ancestor Said. Let me see if I could share. And it's a 365 meditations for a peaceful year. And I'm not going to pull it up because I'm going to read what it says real quick. It says, Ancestor Said is a 365-page debut prose collection by Ahim Ora, a writer who rose to popularity through her social media presence. Her debut book holds gentle words of prayer and affirmations to intuitively provide you with peace, joy, and healing all year long. The author intends for the book to be read day by day as a meditative guide or utilization as journal prompts. Changed my life. That book, The Four Agreements, which is also a book by a Mexican writer, Don Miguel Ruiz, The Alchemist, life-changing books. And lets you know that if you lean into the things that we were taught were magical or idolatry, clarity may be on the other end of that. And so, again, the name of the book is Ancestors Said 300. Matter of fact, I did a video about like 5 or 6 Black women we all should be following, and she was one of them. The book, I think, is out of print in hardcover. So I think she has maybe limited supply because now the hardcover is $129.99, but she does have the Kindle version for $9.99 and the paperback for $21.65. Highly recommend. Or you can buy a used version for $21.65. So again, she only has one used version left in stock for paperback, but the Kindle version $9.99. And if you are looking for something to start leaning into some of our divine practices, including meditation and hearing words to encourage and inspire, I think that's a good place to start. And I mean, there's so much. I may need to do a part 2 to this, child. Hey, Teddy. Do I believe that folks will find me if I don't use the word Black? So I talked about this yesterday, and I did a whole video last August. Let me see if I can pull that up, because I have a friend who worked at Google, and she audited my channel. My channel used to be called Black Culture Talks. Black Culture Talks. She audited my channel. I'm going to say, if I did the video in August, it might have been July of last year, right? The video, I think, was named "This Is Not Goodbye," or at least that was the title. Yeah. Okay. Let me show y'all this. At least that was what is the name? "This Is Not Goodbye, Channel Update, Black Travel and Culture." And she recommended that I take the word Black out of the name of my channel. She saw things, she knew things before the world did. So I'm still, and I said yesterday, so I made that concession, but I'm still going to use the word Black. I'm still going to use the word Black. And if this platform starts to censor it more, then there's another platform out there. And so that's why I asked y'all to sign up for the email list. I don't know if the link is in this description, but if you get one of the free resources that I have in the description, you'll be on the email list. But I am going to continue to use the word Black. But let me just show y'all this. Like, tell you this has been absolutely, everything has been divine timing. Let's just say that. And I have been guided. And this was done. This is my channel. This was done over, well, it says a year ago, right? So let me go ahead. Oh, you might not be able to see it. Let me add it. So this was a year ago. And I said, "This is not goodbye, channel update, Black travel and culture." And let me see if I
Welcome
can
back
just,
to Black Travel and Culture, everyone. I am your girl, Kim, aka Kim with the Gems. Yep, and I hope you can hear me. Actually, it is. And so, yeah, we'll get into it. I actually have some notes so I don't forget, the topics that I want to discover. Again, this is impromptu. We actually have another live happening tonight, and the topic is the safest places for Black families to live outside of the U.S. As you know, this channel is about, and if you're new here, this channel is about wellness, travel, and finances from a cultural point of view, right? So tonight we're going to talk about places for Black families to move outside, the top safest places for Black families to move outside of the U.S. It's been a go. I believe in staying ready so you don't have to get ready. And so hopefully audio is working. I don't, the live is, but I'll get into why in a second. I had my channel audited. So we'll start up there. I had my channel audited, and some of the feedback that I received, I was resistant to the main feedback, the main topic that I received in what should happen. I was very resistant to, and God has a way of letting you know what's right, what's wrong, and when it needs to happen. So someone that I used to work with, I can't really say she's a friend, but she's a great acquaintance, but she works for Google and has been there over, I want to say 10 years, close to 10 years, if not 10 years. I wanted her opinion on how to enhance, improve, make this channel the best, for the community. And one of the ideas that she gave, well, the main idea she gave me, I have been hard-headed. I got this audited nearly a year ago, and well, it was definitely 2023. And I truly was like, nope, this is how I want to do it, and this is what I think the people want. And I stuck with it. And just be clear, like, I have a marketing background, I have a sales background. I work for the largest Black-owned media companies. My career. I'm a graduate of a HBCU. I am proud to, with my whole chest say, everything I do is because I've learned what makes this audience kind of tick. So when I got this feedback, I was like, I'm good. You don't know what you're talking about. But things have changed. Excuse me, sorry. So I've been mulling over, like, what's next, how to enhance. Am I going to change this channel to address more things, less things, become more niche, whatever. Like I said, this channel technically is a passion project for me. So it's not like I wanted this to be, something that is going to get me to a 7-figure status or anything like that. It has been something that I wanted to do based on my knowledge of what is missing in the space of Black conversation, right? And so it just so happens what made me do this impromptu, video has been Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk recently did something that made me say, something, let me revisit the advice and the direction that I have been given, right, from this expert at Google. And so for those of you that may not have heard, yesterday Elon Musk was upset that there was a fundraising initiative for Kamala Harris, and it was
So plain and simple. It took me, because I did not want to make this announcement. I went around the mulberry bush before I made the announcement that I was changing the name of the channel. But again, if you want to watch that video, actually, I'll put the link in the chat right now, if for anyone who wants to watch the video. So I had the audit, child. So I forgot all about that. I had the audit back in 2023, but I didn't make the decision to change the name until 2024. And it was based on something that I saw with Elon Musk, which was all, I guess, percolating inside of the walls of these tech companies. And that's why I guess she recommended, sorry, I'm adding it now. But you could listen, I will continue to use the word Black. Plain and simple. And it probably, if I didn't, who knows? But that's who I'm talking to. This is information for us, right? It's information for us, by us. And I'll rock with it. I'll keep doing it as long as I see action, forward movement is better than no movement. And I still see people thanking me. I still see people, signing up for consultations. Listen, I have not opened up my book yet. I need to figure out my calendar. But I think by tonight, I will open up some dates for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, as long as people still are finding the information that I'm covering useful, and it doesn't have to be 100 people. If it's 2 people, I'm going to still continue to come on live and use the word Black, right? So that's pretty much... Tanya, you didn't get it? Check your email from, you know what? I'm going to email you. Again. I'm just going to re-forward what I sent. But yeah. Hey, LJ, welcome. Buenos tardes. LJ is, one of the reasons I'm going to continue to do what the heck I'm doing and using the word Black, because LJ has been about that action, is now on a world tour, starting off in Bogota with her son, and has, said deuces to this country. And she, has credited me for inspiration, especially, I think this most recent move, which came very very fast. She's also part of our Maximize Assets Grow Abundance community, part of our Private Flawless community. Listen, she is about that action. So is Christine. So is Casper 330. So is Tanya Brooks. So is, yeah, I could go down the list. Let me see. So is Moni Juliet. So is there was somebody else in here. I said Casper 330, right? These are all part of multiple communities that we are involved in. And Casper 330 inspired, she credits me for inspiring her not just to think, do the work to move abroad, to actually get her residency in Mexico this past May. No, June, excuse me. You got it in June. But it was in Mexico when I was there in May. And so as long as I see this type of forward motion, I will continue to use the words that I'm using. And like I said in that video, I am unapologetically don't want to be nothing else but a Black woman. Attended at HBCU. My parents attended HBCUs. I worked in Black media my entire career, just about, with intention, and worked with unapologetically Black people like Susan Taylor, like Hal Jackson, like Frankie Crocker, like, like the list goes on. And so that is in my DNA. It's in my DNA to be unapologetic. So I appreciate, yeah, I do. Yeah, it's on Audible, but for me, when it's books like this, I can't do Audible. Like I need to, I'm not saying don't get the hardcover, child. Don't pay no $100. They may have it someplace else. So I would do my research. If you could get the hardback or the paperback, do that. Because you're going to want to reference, and Audible, I don't know if it's the best with referencing. Signs and wonders are real, and we should tap into it. Yes, Tanya, listen. It is all through, if you read the Bible, it's all through the Bible, right? So why would we be afraid of it now? Why would we not want to embrace it now when we're going to need it more now? I have some more notes here. So I'm probably not going to cover everything because, Tal, this is a topic that I think is going to require multiple conversations. And not only that, multiple conversations where we can communicate with each other. Like, so it's not just, posting in the chat, but I am looking forward to sharing some, how us leaning into this could provide mental health benefits, spiritual health benefits, and financial health benefits. That's what this is about. There are ways and colors, like the color blue is protection. And I showed y'all yesterday, I want to say, maybe it was the video before that. I think it was the video before that. These blue bottles that are known to keep evil out of your home. And it's something that I used to see in front of people's houses. Had no idea what it was. I do know when I show y'all this picture, it is in blue. And so there's things that, I probably won't hear from some of my family members because they have since moved on to, other religions. Let me see if I can get this picture real quick. But even putting things around your house to protect us, your children, especially your children, who are just, so lackadaisical, don't have no idea about the hidden dangers or anything like that. I'm just going to try to show you this. I didn't get up to do it. But this is what I look at every day while I'm here. And I don't take it for granted. I'm like, I'm just going to embrace. I'm trying to make it a little bit more, hopefully. So, oh, child. Oh my gosh. Let me see. Let me see how I could take this thing off. I have to go back to settings. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I'm going to try to show you this, but I need to edit my avatar. I need to not edit the avatar. I'm sorry. I need to edit my background. So you know what? Give me 30 seconds, y'all. I'm going to come off camera. I'm going to put on the timer, and then y'all can... Where's my timer? Oh, here we go. And sorry, I'm back still with the background. I'm trying to remove the blur, but anyway, let me see. Anyway, so while I'm trying to share this with myself, I just shared it to my computer. Hopefully I'll be able to pull it up this time. But I just really want us to completely tap into, lean into all of our gifts, including the ones that have been, hidden from us, or we were scared to practice in the past. So let me share this to the desktop. But again, I want us all to come together. That's what I'm saying. I want us all to come together in a more organized way as things become clearer with what I think the mission of this channel should be overall. And as I know things are going to ramp up in this country, and we're going to need all of the protections and all of the... Okay, it's not working, child. Oh, did it just come? No, it didn't just pop up. It's taking a while for it to come on my phone, come to my photos on my computer. So anywho, and I'm scared to try to sync it now because of the Wi-Fi situation and the storms. But just know that it is a protective piece. It is a piece of honor. And I don't know the entire meaning, but I'm going to try to find out as I meet with the people in the South, the elders in the South, because no one ever explained it to me, and this picture has been here forever. So yeah, so I think that, let me see if there's any questions. Did I miss anything? Tomorrow we are coming back. What time did I say tomorrow? Is it 12 noon? Where we're going to talk about community, and I'm going to share some of the communities that I am part of, some of the YouTube channels that I recommend, and why it's so important and why I think they're important for us to lean into and become a part of. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, no, I'll definitely email you. Ciao, Chief Rocker, Frankie Crocker. I was a kid when I got that. I was fresh out of college, but That was my guy. That was my guy. And why? Because he was confident. He was confident, and he didn't cower with his talent. And people like that, I like to mimic, right? I don't want any. The reason I started working at BLS was because I believed in myself enough to apply. Everybody was saying, oh, you're not going to get the job. It's like at the top 10 station in the #1 market. You don't have any experience. I was like, okay, if they don't call me back, they don't call me back. And it just so happened that they called me back and I got the job at a top 10 station in the #1 market with no experience. So again, it was guidance. It was someone praying for me. And that's what our ancestors are. They are literally the closest to us between here and the divine world, right? And so why not communicate with them? Why not give thanks to them? Why not show honor and appreciation? Going to the cemetery is that, right? Going to the cemetery is literally honoring. And that was in Sinners, right? That was in Sinners when Smoke first came back to visit Annie. He didn't go in to see Annie first. He went to the site where his daughter was laid to rest with flowers and paid honor and paid homage. And so, again, I want us to do more than that. But yes, Chief Rocker Frankie Crocker. Oh, hold on. Sorry, went the wrong way. Represents this, my parents, Tougaloo College and UFAMU, HBCU pride all day, every day. Hey, Shell, yes, girl, where you been? Another reason I'm gonna keep this train going, using the word Black, because Shell, yes, was part of the action movement in Columbia with LJ. And guess how they met? Guess how they met, y'all? Through the Gym Nation community chat. Yeah, so I am super excited about this journey that I'm going on, and whoever decides to join. And we're going to do it together. Like, we are literally going to learn together. I am going to share wisdom and knowledge that I'm learning while I'm here, so close to our ancestors, who arrived straight from the motherland. And I already said, if you get a chance, watch the movie Descendants. It's a documentary on Netflix, and it's based off of Zora Neale Hurston's book, Baccaroon. And so, yeah, if you get a chance, watch that. I want that to be part of a conversation. So when we have the storm is a coming, y'all. When we have our private meetups, I want us to have direction. Like, okay, let's go over some passages from Ancestors Set. I mean, some daily manifestation quotes from Ancestors Says. How can we use this in our daily lives and our prompts and use them as prompts for our daily lives? Who's watched the movie Descendant? We're going to talk about things like that. What did you get from it? How can you apply this in your daily life? Like, this is the type of next step movement I want us to have. And so when we come back in September, I'm actually going to open up the registration this week, because we are going to come back the first week after Labor Day. And so October is Hoodoo/Gullah Geechee Appreciation Month. So I want a whole curriculum during the month of October where we get together definitely once a week. If necessary, we'll add an extra special something in there, but I want a whole curriculum where we are leaning into this and coming together. Because that's the other thing, like, our community is being so broken. The church numbers are down. When I say church numbers, membership in churches, Black churches, is drastically down, but nothing is replacing that. So in addition to, some of the other passion projects that I'm working on, this will be one of them. And while I'm here, like I said, it's to gather information that we can share amongst each other. But good to see you, Shell. Yes, so glad to see you back in the building. Yes, the calendar, what's today? Friday. By tomorrow, before my session tomorrow, I will open up dates on the calendar. So, but you and I have a quick update meeting that we need to do. So you wouldn't need to book another session. So just know that. So part of the first session was a follow-up. Girl, my calendar ain't open. That's the whole thing. So again, you can come back to the to the description tomorrow, or maybe late tonight. I have to just go through some things because I have meetings with some attorneys, courthouses, contractors, all of that stuff. So I just need to figure that out first. No, I won't forget. I won't forget. Again, it's not me forgetting. It's me scheduling and being at the beck and call of other people. So I know there's certain dates I could probably just block out. And then I'm supposed to go to Charleston next week too, to the museum and meet with some people. So we'll see. Yes, please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Yes, when we come back, we will have bingo nights. We will definitely have bingo nights. And I have I know one of the prizes already. So and it's kind of in line with what we're talking about. But yeah, so again, I'm just super excited to be on this journey. We're gonna have to do another part 2, because I honestly, child, I did not get through everything that I needed to get through. But I love the fact that everyone was able to share, because our power is truly, it lives in reclaiming what's been lost. That is where our real power lies. And I'm not lost on the fact, even though it was just a movie, but it's a movie that can inspire us. Ryan Coogler did not just put that part with Annie and the mojo bag in for no reason. He did not. Me being in close proximity to so many people with great stories, and me not being afraid to go and ask and talk to people, that is not by accident. And me not being afraid to come bring it here, because trust you me, I know that not everybody's going to be down with the get down. Not everybody. There's going to be some people, I could just tell by when I say things like stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And then the people that come in and all they want to do is quote Bible scriptures, the end of the world is here, and this and that. Listen, if the end of the world is here, the end of the world is here. But if it's not, let's prepare for being here and having to go through the things we're going to need to go through. So again, Lessons from the Elders playlist, highly recommend you watching. The guy who used to be on Gullah Gullah Island, just a show used to come on every weekend. What's his name? Ron Days, I believe is his name. He spoke. This brother, who I'm going to share tomorrow, but his name is Sun M. Cho. He is the first Harvard professor that teaches this stuff. We'll see. I don't know if he did this semester, y'all, because Harvard is caving in, child. But he's been there for some years and he's brilliant. He has a YouTube channel as well. I highly recommend, again, we're not talking community just yet, but just some really, really amazing stories. We did libations at the ocean for our ancestors. Queen Quet, who is been covered on national news, but she is known as like the queen of the Gullah Nation, I want to say. I may have gotten that wrong, but she was there and part of the programming. Again, anyone interested in coming to Atlantic Beach, South Carolina, the end of this month, I believe it's the 25th through the 28th, they're having a dinner in noir, so a dinner in black on the beach, along with some other cultural events. It is pouring right now. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I'm probably going to stay for that. The goal was to get back to New York, but child, New York ain't hitting on nothing right now. Everything I love, the outdoors, the, you know, Central Park summer stages, the Lincoln Center, silent music nights, the rain has been taking over and the heat. And so, you know what? I think I'm gonna just stay here, be still, not rush, and put together a program and a package that will be super valuable to us in yeah, in the future, in the imminent future. Listen, money, power, community. Money, power, community. Money, power, community. Money, power, community. That's the movement. That's the mission for the Gym Nation. And as I started saying this, it's no longer lost on me. Kim with the gems. I just thought it sounded cute, right? I was like, okay, I'll be Kim with the gems, dropping gems. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Thank you. That's all I'll say. The Gullah Gullah Island, yeah. So he was there giving us a masterclass pretty much in the Gullah nation for Ryan. He might listen. That was a big deal, even though Ryan had some. Listen, I don't pay attention to the. I didn't, because I believe that came across my feed. I think it was a conversation. I'm like, what is Tyler Perry and Jeezy doing sitting at a table? I ain't watching this foolishness. Now, there may have been some gems dropped in there, but I was like, there's just something not right about this table. And I think Kirk Franklin, child, I was like, oh no. Oh no. Yes, bingo was fun, and we'll bring it back. We are definitely going to have that as part of Flawless. Would like to come, but won't be here. Getting close to fly. Oh, good for you, Kevin. Yahoo! Love it, love it, love it. Money, power, community. Amen. Amen to that. So yeah, we've been on here an hour and 42 minutes. The Wi-Fi hasn't gone down yet, but the storm has arrived. It is pouring outside right now. And it's supposed to be thunderstorms and lightning and all that other beautiful stuff, right? And so, and all night long. But when I come back, I know I am going to, hold on a second, try to take off this. Oh, child, was this it? No. Next time I won't have the blurred background and y'all can see my pictures and stuff. But I might even post one. I don't know. We'll see. But tomorrow we're back at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be talking about community. And if you have any communities, I encourage you to bring them as part of the discussion. And if you haven't liked this video, please go ahead and like it. You're already part of the Gym Nation if you're commenting, because I only leave my comments open to subscribers, because we don't have time for the foolishness. Time is precious, child. And these things go on long enough. And I don't want Christine to have to hit nobody over the head with wrenches, if unnecessary. And so, yeah, so we're going to talk more about community tomorrow. I want you to come share communities that you currently follow or part of. And yeah, let's build this community one brick at a time, y'all. One gem at a time, one gemstone at a time. I am so happy that y'all came in and stayed. If you didn't like this video, hit it now before we head out. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, well, yeah, if you aren't subscribe to the channel. Oh, somebody named Gail Brown has a recommendation. Let me share that. Hey, Gail Brown, Reclaiming the Throne is a 3-episode documentary that can be searched on Tubi. It gives excellent insight and information about how and why Black Americans are descendants of the original Hebrews. So anybody who watches Tubi or has Tubi, go ahead and check out Reclaiming the Throne. I don't watch Tubi. I don't support Tubi. I don't support Fox. And so, unfortunately, I can't include that as part of the deeper, the flawless community conversation. If they sell ownership, then maybe. But again, I just don't support them. But thank you for the recommendation. And I know there are quite a few people here that do watch Tubi. So go ahead and check it out. And yes, Christine has a wrench and will use it, child. So don't play. Play stupid games, get hit in the head by a wrench by Christine. And with that being said, everyone, have a beautiful Friday. We'll see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, let's each one teach one. If I said something that inspired, encouraged, share it with somebody. If you know somebody that could benefit from the book Ancestors Said, or the playlist that I shared, or anything that I talked about, please share it. That's the only way we're going to survive this craziness, is in community and each one teaching one. So again, I thank you for tuning in, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a good day. Have a good weekend.